Say on streets.
Our streets.
Say on streets. And main it.
Right.
Main it. Whose streets?
Our streets.
Word on the beat, word on the beat, word on the beat.
Time after time after time after time after time after time after
What up? It's your boy Bass, and we got a couple free gifts that we want to give away to our listeners today. If you are a music artist, a business owner, a social media influence, man, are you a public figure in the community, an activist or organizer, man, we have 2 links in the description below available for you to submit either A, your music, or B, your story, your content. Your music will go on N's Music, and your content, your voice will also go on N's Media Magazine. So thank y'all for y'all time. Now it's time to get back to the episode. Appreciate y'all for listening. What up? It's your boy Bass. Y'all tuned in to another episode of N's Podcast. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all see my eyes getting big. For y'all that can't, because y'all gonna be listening to this by audio, man, it's one of them real topics. Man, we're gonna be talking about credit. A lot of people don't like to talk about finance. So I'm gonna just take the time to just really say this. If you are interested in talking about how you picked yourself up when your shit fell down, I would love to have that conversation with you, especially on N's Podcast. So let's get back to the episode though. But in this episode in particular, we're gonna be talking about credit, rebuilding your credit. I'm gonna give a few of my testimonies of where I went wrong at, especially being young, naive, and thinking desperate, honestly, and how that impacted me today. But now I'm following suit and going through the same exact process, but actually, like what I just said, following through the actual process, and not basically displaying a lack of discipline, I had in my younger days, basically, and thinking I'm just getting over instead of we trying to get forward. Fuck getting over, we trying to get forward. So long story short, today's topic, I'm gonna really be talking about credit building loans, and basically my 2 attempts, you feel me? One of them, you feel me, I went through and started off good and then did bad. And then now I started all over again, you feel me, redoing it. Just trying it more in one ways just to boost that credit score up to the best way possible. Eating in the streets ends me making the most making the most out of your current circumstances. Now I understand everybody is not in the best credit situation. You might have that bread, you might have that dough, you can have 100,000 stacked underneath your bed right now, man, lay it out on your table, but that credit score could still be a 500 or some shit like that. You feel me? Just due to shit that you did when you were younger and things like that. Or you might have a good credit score, but you still can't get approved for nothing because you don't got no damn credit history. And the whole time you've been cashing out because, coming from a black culture, we like to buy things with money, but we don't realize some of that do come down to it because we don't have a credit or some shit like that, so we got to go that cash route. But it'd be like, oh shit, but I got cash though to pay those. You feel me? So we embrace going the cash route, and niggas end up fucking up their credit. Individuals, I gotta stop saying that. You feel me, on a public scale, because we going global now, so now I gotta expand that. But I'm still gonna be me at the end of the day. But individuals gotta you feel me? So a lot of times individuals take more pride in having the actual cash than the actual credit score, until, you feel me, we start to try to do things going bigger and beyond. Like when you start like damn, I want to refinance a house, or I want to do certain things like that, then they be like, damn, what your credit like. When they start asking what your credit like, and you feel me, really start trying to apply that pressure to you. But long story short, that's how it came down to me, especially when I started looking at things like that. Like I got, business and stuff like that. Your business got its own EIN, but your business can start operating as like its own person. You feel me? Like once it start getting up to that, because it's just like because the EIN basically a business is just like a regular person. You feel me? When it first start out, ain't got no credit history, so it is attached to your hip. And once it build up that own credit history, its own credit score, then it's off doing his own thing. But then it's like when it came down to me though, you feel me, I did some things in the past, you feel me, my youthful years, that later on at that given point in time, it wouldn't even hit me right then and there. Like, because as anybody know, with credit, it take time. Sometimes it might not get you that in them first couple months. Shit, it might not even get you that first year. Then out of nowhere, bloop, 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 bloop. That motherfucker drop out of nowhere. Then you get to looking, you get to going over, you don't even know, you just see the initials or something like that. You get to looking it up like, damn, I forgot all about them or something like that. Or it might be like a credit company that they basically bought your debt and now they on your head letting you know like, hey, you owe money. But the company probably won't even say nothing. They probably, keep sending you them letters like, hey, past due, bloop. Afterwards, all right, bet. We just gonna send it to the creditors and they gonna come get it. You feel me? So it might just turn out like that. And then, they're gonna hit your credit. So long story short, so the first time, being young, going through a whole financial process, I went through a whole financial a financial training little course thing, like on budgeting and stuff like that. I had a financial awareness coach. You feel me? And that was real beneficial. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, financial awareness coach helped me out, all that. And at the end, she ended up aligning me with like a program or like a company, a nonprofit or something like that was able to give me a credit builder loan, personal loan. You feel me? And with the terms that I paid them back, $20 a month for 2 years. You feel me? They gave me $240 to pay them $20 a month for 2 years. Dog, how did I mess that up? I'm gonna let y'all know exactly how I messed that up. So, you feel me? You gotta have the bank account from to draw it out from, and yada yada yada. At that given point in time, you feel me? I'm young. I'm not really necessarily, doing my due diligence when it came down to my personal finance. And the reason I say that is because they give you the 240. Honestly, you don't even gotta touch it. Part of the best strategic plan is that you don't. And then we're gonna go into that into like now, because now they have companies with different business models and things of that nature that help out for individuals that at that time, like me, that lacked that discipline and just wasn't really, you feel me, I just wasn't really solid to the plan, or just wasn't really solid on the plan. But long story short, let's go back into where I fucked up at, just being all the way honest. So they gave me the check, and I had a personal account, you feel me, I'm getting money coming in and all that type of stuff, direct deposits and stuff. So I'm thinking like to myself, like, I can just go ahead and spend this money right now. I don't plan on, you feel me? I wasn't thinking in my head of like, oh yeah, you might use a different bank account. I wasn't taking accountability on none of the stuff like that. I was just thinking there's money coming in, $20 a month, easy money, right? Easy money. So I went in, I spent that $240. I spent that $240. And not like I spent it on some shoes or something like that. I think I went and paid like some bills, like my phone bill or something like that. Like just went and paid it off with that money. You feel me? And I'm just like $20 a month. Like, oh, I just go pay this, or I could easily just pay that $20 a month. But then I remember, so what I had them coming out of a paycheck. Coming out of a prepaid account that I was using for this job I was working at the time. Like a job ended up giving me a prepaid card and a debit card account, so I was using that. Even after I stopped, I was still using it because it was a free online banking account. But then, long story short, I ended up opening me up a different banking account, real bank account. I started using that one. But it was still some money in the account, so I'm still using it, swiping and all that type of stuff. But in my head, low key, well, at first I was mindful of that. I had that loan out, But then after a while, man, I low-key forgot about it. Cause it's $20 a month. You be thinking like, bro, oh, they ain't shit to pay. They gonna send me like some type of letter or something. I remember she emailed me something. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back to you. Woo woo. But it slipped my mind, dog. It slipped my mind, like on some real 100. Cause you be putting it off because in your mind, and at that time I don't know, I started procrastinating. Like on certain stuff, I just be procrastinating. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, dog, it ain't really much. I'm gonna get to it, woo woo. But to be all the way real, me telling myself that ended up making it worse because I kept prolonging. Then, real life situations start popping up. The next thing you know, your mind is so consumed, business and all that. Man, my mind was so consumed on all this other stuff. I got bigger bills to pay instead of like some $20 a month type stuff. Like, I got bigger bills to pay. I'm thinking about, I ain't really thinking about that. I'm thinking about business and family and all type of stuff. Like, you feel me? With just regular life shit. Like, you feel me? I wasn't thinking about no $20. You feel me? They ain't really seen no letter. And at that, the email that I was using, like, basically, long story short, like, I ended up, switching over like shit. Long story short, I ended up getting a new phone number, new phone, and all type of stuff, man. And I basically ended up losing contact with the individual that was managing the whole basically like the account that I had open. I ended up losing contact. And then after that, I ended up forgetting. I'm just being all the way 100. I ended up losing contact. I ended up forgetting. That was really wrong on my behalf, honestly. When it's something like that, you gotta really be mindful, and that has to be a priority because it's what the intentions and what the agenda is. The agenda is to increase your overall financial standing, your credit score. You feel me? So that's part. You feel me? That's what the end goal is. So if that is something that can also what can benefit you, but it can also hurt you, you gotta be on top of that, dog. And like me personally, being young, I wasn't on top of it. I was more concerned on what I had going on in front of me. I was being real reactionary versus being strategic. Even though I was running a business, you feel me? I just felt like, you feel me? If it was big, oh, that's the main focus right now. You feel me? Let me fix the biggest thing that's going on right now. Like I said, I was considered that's something small. I might have something going on with a client or something. My mind consumed with that all day. I might be working on that all day and forgot that, like, oh shit, I was supposed to go call this person, but that's when you're young. You just starting out. You just get overwhelmed or overconsumed and shit that's just going on around you. That's just any average person though. Like any just person in general, especially when you learning something, you lack the discipline. You feel me? And you lack the focus on what the end goal was. And it just comes with practice and repetition. So after that, damn, I'm like, boom, boom. The next thing you know, boom. I get that alert. Your credit score didn't drop. I mean, like, like you had like your credit score has changed and you got something that's impacting your credit score. I'm like, oh, that don't really sound good. It don't sound like that's something good impacting my credit score. Like, it ain't sound like, oh, because they see you like, oh, good news, your credit score went up. You feel me? They send you one of them type emails, so when it ain't, when it ain't nothing good. So I'm like, let me go check it out. I'm like, damn. Now it's on my credit. I'm like, damn, I done forgot all about it. And it's like, it's at a point where now that they didn't report it to the credit like that, I'm at a point where I didn't messed up basically. So I kind of like, you feel me? And then at the point and at the time too, I wasn't really trying to use my credit for anything because, I just wasn't really trying to use my personal credit for anything like major, like taking out like no loans or anything like that. I wasn't trying to get approved for no loans. So I kind of neglected that too a little bit. And then as I started to progress and things like that, man, I started to be on top of my finances and I was aware. I started looking at my credit report like, dang, like why'd I take like a hit? And it's just like, oh man, you took a hit for $240. Now the thing with that is, it's like, now if anybody know how credit work, it's like, instantly just going, because you see it's $240, like going in and paying that off right then and there could really help. I mean, like it could, like that could help you out. But the problem was that you didn't show that you can make consistent payments. So even if you go pay it off, that's just like, oh, he could have just came up with some cash when he go pay it off. So it was like, damn. So now I gotta, it's tricks to the trade. I am not an expert, so let me go ahead and say that disclaimer here right now. It's tricks to the trade, but in order just to even, better reinsure myself and to keep my credit going up at a steady pace, I gotta show that I can make, even more better consistent payments while wiping that off. So that means contacting the creditor, you feel me, the provider. You could go ahead and pay it off right then and there, but it ain't gonna really impact you more as if you go ahead and set up that payment plan or something like that, or open up an account where you steady paying it on. So I was like, boom, take care of that. But then also at the same time, man, I see the benefit of it. Like, the whole benefit was that you pay on time, and then they reported that you pay your bills on time. And with credit card, not cause I say credit card, but with credit companies or creditors, like the reporting, them 3-point bureaus, they look at that like, oh shit, he making on time monthly payments. Even if you don't really want to take out personal credit cards, like I was saying, like having a business, if you feel me, I ain't saying like I'm paying for personal expenses, but shit, I limit most of my expenses, my personal things, yeah, I can pay for in cash. But things like, as far as like that's in my company name and things like that, I'm not paying out of pocket for it. You feel me? Like, my company can pay for its own things now. Like, you feel me? So it was but like now I'm at a point where I want to buy homes and buy homes. Like like in the previous episodes, talked about buying a home. That's in my name. Things like that, which comes with even more expenses, things that you not gonna want to pay upfront cash for. You might just want to finance for it and just pay over time. But then you start looking at, damn, these interest rates and things like that all come down to my actual credit. Damn. You even want to even do business with me, not like do business, but you even want to basically take this whole process to the next level. Depends on me having a good credit score, and things of that nature. So I didn't want to just have a good credit score. I also wanted to show good history. So then that was another thing too, on top of that, like, damn, it come down to you having a good credit score. But then I started researching and things like that, because I remember, like, shit, I had a good credit score, like, shit. But it was like, damn, one time a bank told me, like, shit, you ain't got no credit history, though. You got a decent score, but you ain't got no credit history. So it was like, you feel me, double whammy. So now I'm looking back at the situation and I'll use Mint to manage some of my accounts too and just stay up to date to what I got going on. They ended up putting me on the Self Inc., and that's a company where they also was a different type of credit builder loan. They on a bigger scale because they online and things of that nature. But long story short, they open up a savings account. So they open up a loan, they put the loan money into a savings account. Basically, you paying until that. Basically, they set up a term where 24 months after you pay that money off, they release the money back to you, which is pretty dope. But it's still the same structure. You make your on-time monthly payments. They report it to all 3 bureaus. And then, like I said, and at the end of the year or 2 years, however you set it up or structure it, your money is dispersed back to you, or basically they just pay you in a check. They send you a check with the money that you paid out or originally agreed upon. And then one of the benefits of that also too is just liability. The money is put into a savings account, so if you have to end early, they might charge you like a fee. They might charge you a fee, but you're able to end early and things of that nature too. But there is various companies that do this. They're not the only one. But one of the biggest things is that, like, I learned that it's either A, if you feel like that you're not going to be mindful of it, go ahead and pay that penalty fee. If there is one, I did some research. There's some without no penalty fee and stuff like that. You can end at any time, but go ahead and pay that off. But at least do it for a couple months. But go ahead and pay that off. Mine, in that first month, they require like $48, right? I paid more than $48 just so when they report it, they gonna also show that, like, he didn't pay the minimum, he paid above the minimum, and you feel me, just going towards it. And because I'm trying to build my reporting history, because right now my reporting history isn't the best history. Even if my credit score does take a jump, it's gonna be like, oh, well, you don't necessarily have a good history of paying on time. Yeah, you might pay it off, but you don't necessarily pay on time. They want to get their money on time. They want to expect when their money is gonna be there, like, and know that, like, shit, when you say my money gonna be there, my money is gonna be there. Like, damn, if it's late, they ain't really trying to. I mean, like, damn, you feel me? They see that, like, oh yeah, he paid it off late, but we want to see what is his history like paying it off on time. So it's like increasing that. So taking that same focus that you apply to like your business, and applying that to your personal as well. So then that's why I'm going through the process again. You feel me? But like this time I'm tapping in with things I wasn't real big on personal credit cards or anything like that, because I'm like, me personally, it's nothing I really want to pay on to, that, personally. Business, that's something completely different, but me personally, I don't necessarily need a credit card. But when I start thinking about that whole financial structure, creating that financial history, and that is what a lot of banks and financial institutions look at, not just your credit score. So then that's why, even for business, that's why I had to do it all over for my business. But it's that credit history. So, having a consistent history of making on-time payments and just clearing that up for them. Even if I don't want to take out, I ain't trying to take out no major loans or anything like that. But like I said, I did buy a house, and that is attached to me, stuff like that. You might want to refinance for, for a cheaper price. And I ain't saying that I'm financing anything like that, but I'm just saying in the future, things that you might want to do with the property where you get to talk about real estate. It's a few things that you can do, but it's a lot of things that come down to credit in the finance game, in the real estate game. A lot of things do come down to credit and things of that nature. So I just want to put my best foot forward. And since we the voice of the culture, and we know that, I ain't gonna say we. I know that I'm not the only individual that started off, on the wrong foot, or started off on a good foot, probably veered off a little bit, or you just trying to work just to get ahead, or maybe your credit good, but you just ain't got no credit history. This conversation is for us. This conversation is for us. So, but at the same time, I want to talk your ear off. So if you got something to say, you want to comment, man, go ahead and comment. I don't know where you're going to end up seeing this at. You can see this on YouTube. You might see this on Apple Podcasts. You might see this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Deezer, TuneIn Radio, Radio Republic. I don't know what you got, Breaker. Whatever you got, we own now. Yeah, but long story short, man, tap in with us, man. Let's have this conversation, man. It's really really having these open conversations about generational wealth. We even got the Ends Investment Group on Facebook. Go ahead and tap in, search us, Ends Investment Group, ENDS Investments Group. Tap into that Facebook group, man. We're gonna be having conversations, sharing, and just networking for real. And that's all free, man. Just like how you can show love. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe this episode, man. It's free support. And if you want to show paid support, y'all see in the background, we got some merch, those hoodies, but we also got the t-shirts to match, man. We got sunglasses, all type of stuff, man. That's another way that you can be a voice of the culture, because we all know fashion is a form of expression. So go ahead and express yourself. Let them know how you stand. You are the voice of the culture. We are the voice of the culture. And what we do, we eat, we ends, which means making the most out of your current circumstance. And we're doing it as a family. It's your boy Baz, and I'm tapping out. Thank you for tapping in. Peace.